This special edition of the broadcast over the course of the next 30 minutes will be updating you on everything that's been happening around the world. And let's start with some international news first, where it's a bit of a bad news for spouses in the United States with possible changes coming in to the H1B Visa program. The Donald Trump administration has revoked an Obama-era rule that extends the work authorization to the spouses of the H1B visa holders. This move could affect thousands of Indian workers and their families who are living in the United States presently. And touting the tax plan that he proposes to in fact bring about, US President Donald Trump has said that the US economy can possibly grow at an annual rate of 6%. The president has also said that the economy is back and that it grew at a 3.3% annual rate in the last quarter. Now, Donald Trump has also said that tax cuts will benefit the middle class and also will be producing jobs, calling this one of the greatest gifts to the middle-income people of the United States that they have ever gotten for Christmas, to quote-unquote the president. The Peruvian legislatures have launched an impeachment procedure against President Pedro Pablo Kuczynski over corruption allegations. Kuczynski has been accused of taking bribes from the Brazilian construction giant Odebrecht. 93 out of the 110 members of the opposition-controlled Congress have approved the launching of the impeachment procedure to oust the present incumbent president. Austria's upcoming conservative right government has set out its objectives, which includes support for the European Union and a desire to lift sanctions against Russia. Austria is all set to become the only Western European power with a far-right party in the government. This after Heinz Christian Strache's Freedom Party and Sebastian Kurz's People's Party struck a coalition deal on Friday. The various parts of the world witnessed protests against the United States as clashes in the West Bank took a deadly turn over Donald Trump's recognition of Jerusalem as the Israeli capital. Palestinians in the West Bank village of Beit Ullah and also in the Gaza Strip participated in funerals of Palestinians killed in the Friday clashes. 4 Palestinians were killed and hundreds of others were wounded in clashes in several West Bank cities on Friday. The clashes were also reported from various parts across the world. Muslims in Tokyo, for instance, staged a protest outside the US Embassy. In Brazil, hundreds marched in front of the US consulate in Sao Paulo to protest against Donald Trump's controversial Jerusalem move. Thousands of pro-independence Catalan supporters gathered at Barcelona to mark 2 months since a Spanish judge ordered the jailing of 2 of their leaders. Many of them were wearing yellow scarves. They also chanted "Freedom, freedom" as they walked to the Catalan government headquarters. Hundreds of torch-bearing Hondurans took to the streets demanding a vote recount for last month's unresolved presidential election. Supporters of the centre-left opposition alliance against the dictatorship led by TV star Salvador Nasrallah waved the Honduran flags, banging pots and also carrying signs that read "No to electoral fraud" and "Out JOH for Juan Orlando Hernandez." Thousands of Romanians flocked to the streets to honour the country's former king, Michael, one of the last surviving World War II European heads of states. Now, the funeral procession started in Bucharest with various European royals, including Spain's former king, Juan Carlos, Britain's Prince Charles, and also King Carl Gustaf of Sweden and his wife, Queen Sylvia, in attendance. A mudslide in Chile has killed about 3 people and 15 others are believed to be missing. This after a night of torrential downpour. A video taken from a helicopter shows a vast swathe of a town that was buried beneath the mud. as the landslide ploughed its way down a flooded river valley. A mudslide in Chile killed 3 people and 15 others are reported to be missing. This after a night of the torrential downpours. A video that's been taken from a helicopter shows a vast swathe of a town buried beneath the mud. At least 3 people are believed to have been killed and tens of thousands have been driven from their homes by floods as tropical storm Kaitak pounded the eastern Philippine coast on Saturday. Kaitak, which packed gusts of up to 110 kilometers an hour, hit the country's 3rd largest island summer and also tore through a region that has been devastated by Super Typhoon Haiyan 4 years ago. A raging wildfire in California on Saturday became the state's 3rd largest on record. More devastation is possible from a resurgence of the harsh winds that have fueled the deadly blaze since the beginning of the month. The so-called Thomas Fire has destroyed more than 1,000 structures, including about 750 homes in Southern California since erupting on the 4th of December. Now, 3 months after the Saudi kingdom announced a historic decision to end a ban on women driving cars, officials now have said that women can drive trucks and motorcycles as well. Now, the royal decree issued this time states that women are in fact authorized to ride motorcycles and the law on driving will be equal for both men and women in the kingdom. An ancient skeleton of an woolly mammoth is sold for about $643,000 at the auction in the French city of Lyon. The skeleton, which exceeded its estimated value, is thought to be the largest of its kind in private hands. And it is a rare example because 80% of the skeleton is original bone. Scientists also say that the skeleton belonged to a male mammoth and was discovered around 10 years ago in the Siberian permafrost. Dozens of migrant charities, rights advocates and also concerned citizens marched along the French Riviera calling on authorities to allow migrants to enter France from Italy. The protesters believe that the migrants have risked their lives to cross the border by sea or on dangerous highways. These protesters were demonstrating ahead of International Migrants' Day on the 18th of December and were demanding for more facilities to accommodate asylum seekers. Just hours before the results of repolling will be conducted at 6 booths in 4 assembly constituencies in Gujarat today. The repolling was ordered on Friday late night, citing some technical reasons, and the Election Commission had annulled the polling data that was present in the EVMs. Snow clearing operations are underway at Mughal Road in Indian Kashmir to restore traffic movement on the arterial routes. Mughal Road, which is the lifeline for the border villages of the valley, was blocked after the state received its first snowfall of the season. Heavy machinery and workers have been pressed into service to clear the snow. More than 600 youth have attended an employment fair in Indian Kashmir on Friday aimed at tackling unemployment in the state. The 2-day fair saw the participation of government departments and also both public and private firms. Recruiters were seen briefing young candidates and assisting them fill up the forms. The unemployment rate in the valley stood at 24.6% for youth between 18 to 29 years of age. Alright, let's now move on to some entertainment stories where more than 2,000 fans welcomed Hollywood actor John Travolta at the Apex Convention Center in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. This just days after the country lifted a decades-long ban on cinemas. The John Travolta performed a special stand-up format live event called A Night with John Travolta, in which he looked back on his life and career in Hollywood. Responding to her upcoming film, Veere the Wedding, being called a chick flick, actress Sonam Kapoor has said that do not call it that, it is so bad, there is no such thing as a chick flick. Now, Sonam also added that the film is about the coming of age of women at large. The filmmaker Karan Johar has taken to social media to share a new picture from the sets of the Janhvi Kapoor and Ishan Khattar starrer Dhadak. The film is a remake of the 2016 Marathi film Sairat, which is reportedly the highest-grossing Marathi movie. Directed by Shashank Khaitan, Dhadak is scheduled to be released in July next year. The poster of Siddharth Malhotra and Manoj Bajpayee's starrer Ayari has been released, and also the film is reportedly a crime thriller that's based on the 1987 Opera House heist that involved a group posing as CBI officers for a fake income tax investigation raid. The film is scheduled to release on the 26th of January next year. As per reports, actor Nawazuddin Siddiqui will play the role of late Bal Thackeray, the founder of the Shiv Sena, in an upcoming biopic on the political figure. The film has been scripted by Shiv Sena spokesperson Sanjay Raut. Actress Kangana Ranaut has been invited to Harvard Business School as a speaker at the annual India Conference in February 2018. She will be delivering her speech on topics such as the changing entertainment landscape in India and disrupting the Indian mainstream cinema and others. And Sri Lanka will be eyeing their first ever one-day international series win in India as they face the hosts in the deciding third match in Visakhapatnam today. Rohit Sharma's record-extending third double century gave India a series-levelling win in Mohali after losing the first match in Dharmashala. India have the chance to make it 8 series wins in a row with a victory today, and they have not lost a bilateral one-day international series since January of 2016.